I'm a big believer in first impressions. And I do a lot of coaching with guys. And whenever they're telling me they're having a problem at a certain stage, a real common one is I'll hear from a guy, yeah, I met this girl, she was attracted to me, we had this connection, we had this great conversation, she was single, but then when I asked her out for a date, all of a sudden she wouldn't go out on a date with me. So how do I ask a woman out for a date? And it's like, well, no, that's not right. You've got to look, you see how that conversation makes no sense? It's like if she's single and she was attracted to you and you guys had a connection, of course she'll go on a date with you. So when guys come to me with a problem they're having at a certain stage of meeting women, I always go back to the step before that. It's like, well, if you asked her out for a date and she said no, then she didn't have a connection with you. And if she didn't have a connection with you, well, maybe she was just faking a connection. Maybe she wasn't even attracted to you in the first place. Maybe she was just smiling and pretending to be interested because she's polite. And why would that be? Well, maybe you didn't have a very good first impression. So I always go back earlier and earlier and earlier. And what you'll find when you're diagnosing the areas where you're getting stuck with women, you'll find it's usually sooner than where you think it is. And very often you'll be able to trace it all the way back to the very first impression. If you guys are having trouble with women, it might very well be the first impression. How many of you guys feel like you're consistently able to have a great first impression when you're starting a conversation? Like, let's say 80% of the time. Wow. We got one yes and one maybe. Okay. So you want to really work on that. And first of all, that's great that you guys are being honest, because I still, if that doesn't open well for me, then I know it's going to be a tough ride. And what I recommend for people is I recommend you take a step back, you stop learning all these crazy ways to start conversations. I've taught literally hundreds of ways of starting conversations with women. But if you want to get better at the fundamentals, I think it's best to stick with one way and just do it over and over and over again so you can focus on what really matters, which is your own energy that you're bringing to the table. So it has to work under any situation, whether there's a group of people, whether there's one woman, whether she's walking, she's sitting, she's standing on her head, whatever's going on, it has to work because you have to be able to use it under any situation. It has to be really easy to throw out at a moment's notice. It can't take this big plan. It can't be this complicated thing you need to remember. It needs to be quick. And it has to be really simple because if it's this long, convoluted way of starting a conversation, I don't know if they're reacting to me and my energy or if they're reacting to what I'm saying. So I like stuff that's really, really simple. I'll give you guys an example real quick of a back pocket opener. And can I borrow Yuko for this? Let's give Yuko a hand. Yay. So why don't you stay there? You can stay there. And we'll actually simulate where we're just walking. Let's say we're just walking on the sidewalk. I've got my, I'm in a good mood. I'm ready to go. Remember, if I'm walking like this and I'm talking on the phone, it's not going to work. I have to be in state. I have to be ready to go. And I'll just do a real quick example of it. So let's see it. She's walking. Oh, excuse me. Do you have the time?
No, I don't.
You know what? Actually, I just came to flirt with you. I know. Are you good to flirt? Are you good to flirt? Are you good? Come on, let's see what you got. Come on, flirt with me. Come on. Show me a little. Come on, show me the shoulder. What do you got? What do you got? It's all right. I'll give it like a 6 out of 10. Oh, what are you doing? Hey, check this out. Come here. So, that was very. So
interested.
She was just walking. I actually really got the sense she would just walk off with me.
Yeah.
So let me break down what's going on there and why it's important. First of all, how many of you guys think that would just work under any situation? If there's 5 people, how many doesn't think that would work if there were 3 people? This works, and I've used this in pretty much every situation you can imagine. I've had a limo drive by with women screaming out the window, and I've used this and had it work. And there was a reporter there, so I've got proof. So it's really simple, and it's really quick. Hey, do you know what time it is? You can be like talking on your cell phone, and you'll still remember this. So I love that it's really simple. Whoa, I'm going to fall over here. So what I like about the opening, asking her what time it is you have to think about her frame of mind right now. She's walking on the sidewalk, and she's getting approached by a guy. She's immediately tense. And what I want to do is I want to start the conversation off in the most normal way possible. Because the truth is, when she's walking on the sidewalk, and she sees this guy, and she doesn't know, we haven't made any eye contact at all, right now, where she is, she can't respond to flirting at all. Because she doesn't know that she's being social. And it's funny, because if you take a banter line or a traditional way of starting a conversation that might work in a bar, and you try and use it on women that are thinking about things and trying to get stuff done, it just doesn't work. Because they don't even know they're supposed to be social, and they don't know really how to check you out. So the first thing I do is ask her a normal conversation, just so she knows, okay, we're having a normal conversation. So she can relax, and she can soak up who I am and see, okay, he's a normal guy, we're having a normal conversation, things are safe. That's the first step. Now, what's the second step? Second step is I kind of touch her and I get her laughing. Do you guys see that? Now, what's going on there is I'm basically just releasing the tension. I don't want her to be nervous. And the way I relax her is just by, I kind of just, now if you guys will notice, so I stop her and say what time it is, and then I touch her, and I move over, so I'm forcing her to kind of look at me a little bit, and now all of a sudden, who I am kind of changes in her mind. It's like, oh, he wants to know the time, and then it's like, oh, something else is going on, and then what's going on? I'm just here to flirt with you. And if you say that line, actually, I just came to flirt with you, and you don't get a laugh, you're doing something wrong. and she's going to be really uncomfortable. But you get that laugh, and you get that release of tension, and now what happens? Now we're officially flirting. And it's really important. You have to stop her first, and you have to let her see you, and then all of a sudden you can flirt with her. Now, what was the third thing I did? I started the real conversation. It was really subtle. And what I said didn't matter. I said, oh, come here, let's go. Now, this is starting the real conversation. There's a couple rules I have about real conversation. If you want to get to that real conversation, it has to be a private, intimate conversation between the two of you. And eye contact is like that. If someone's watching you have eye contact, unless they're watching the way we're watching it, they're not really going to know what's going on. That's why eye contact, one of the reasons it's so powerful. She knows it's a private conversation. Now, the other way you can have a private conversation is just with a hand. And the way I do it here is basically, I'm sliding my hand along here, and I'm not grabbing her hand, but I'm just leaving my hand here so it's open for her to grab it. Do you guys understand? I'm taking the conversation that we're talking about, and I'm making it a two-way conversation. I've been catching her here a little bit, but now I want to know how she really thinks about me, and I'm just going to do this. And I won't hold on to it for a long time, but I'll stop, and I'll talk to her a little more, and then when she laughs, I'll be like, oh my God, I love this girl. You're so cute. And I'm going to basically take it. I'm having a private conversation here. And actually, if you turn around, you can kind of see what's going on. There can be all her friends here. You know, a lot of stuff can be going on. Her parents could be there. It doesn't matter. It'll be like, oh my God, this girl's amazing. And there's something going on back here, and we can kind of play around, and we're having our own private conversation. That's how you're starting that real conversation. Let me give you guys a couple of tips about getting that laugh there. Let me give you guys a couple of tips, actually, about everything. Let me give you a tip on how to stop her. If she's walking and you ask her what time it is, you want to just kind of get slightly in her way. Oh, do you know what time it is? You guys see how I take that little diagonal step? I go, oh, do you know what time it is? And I stop her. And then the next difficult thing is to get her to laugh. And basically, the way you get her to laugh, it's all about timing. Let me show you guys what happens if you do the whole process too quickly. You can walk towards me. Oh, hey, do you know what time it is? Actually, you know what? I just came to flirt with you. You guys see how that was a little too early? I was kind of in a hurry. I wasn't letting that tension build up a little bit. There was no tension to build up to that laughter. Now I'm going to show you what happens if you take too long. This is almost as bad. Okay. Hey, you know what time it is?
Actually, I'm not sure. I don't have watch.
You know what, actually, I just came to flirt with you.
Okay.
That's a bad reaction. Now I'm just going to show you, the timing has to be just right. Basically, to get the timing right, you want to interrupt her right when she's talking. That's important because if you don't really care about the time, then you don't want to let her finish. You want to stop her before she finishes. So I'll show you guys what that looks like when the timing's right. You just have to interrupt her and cut her off right in the middle. Hey, do you know what time it is?
No.
You know, actually, I just came to flirt with you. Is that bad?
No.
Is that wrong? I feel like I lied to you. You're not gonna beat me up, are you? Are you strong? Let's see what you got. Let's see this biceps. Let's see this biceps. Come on, flex. You guys see how I got that again? I'm already touching her hand. Let's see those biceps. I'm already just starting this. And then when I do this later, it's going to feel a little more natural. We're starting that conversation, that two-way conversation. Now what you can do is you can take this same kind of concept and you can apply this anywhere in your daily life. So I started doing this, and there's kind of a formula there where you're just trying to get her into a social mode, and then you're trying to flirt with her. Step one is just make her aware that she's having a conversation with a normal guy. And then step two is then you flirt with her. And that's the key formula. And once we have that in your back pocket opener, you can apply that to different environments. So one example is a supermarket. I've met tons of women in the supermarket. You got to go there anyway. And every city has a supermarket where all the hot women go. I don't know why that is. There's definitely a supermarket in your town where the attractive women are going. And the supermarket's the same thing. You want to just start by having a real normal conversation. So if imagine she's just at the supermarket. First step is I just want to engage her in a normal conversation, and then I immediately want to start flirting with her. So I go up and be like, hey, you know how to cook this?
Just open and then microwave it.
No, I don't want to do it. I just want to know if you know how to do it.
Oh,
Are you good? Are you good?
Yeah.
You can be my new girlfriend? You can be my new girlfriend? You gonna cook it for me? Okay, never mind. You know what? This isn't going to work out. I thought we had something going, but it's tomato sauce. We're going to be eating pizza. I'm going to be starving. You want me eating hot dogs?
That's actually what I was going to make it today.
No, you weren't. Now you're just flirting with me. Now you're trying to pick me up. Now I feel uncomfortable. What's going on? So you're just starting the conversation. Normal conversation. I don't start flirting with her. I enter the conversation in her head, and then I transition that over. You can apply this to any kind of environment.
It was about 2 months ago. I went to Art of Rapport in Seattle, and it was real natural because I was on my home turf, and I really enjoyed it. Before I took Art of Rapport, I wasn't opening girls in the daytime at all. Since I took the workshop, I'm able to open just about any girl I see. Sometimes there's still a little bit of hesitation, but I'm getting over that. I think if you're a guy that's found himself recently divorced, trying to reconnect with the dating scene, this is just, you can't beat this as far as getting you reconnected and dating again and enjoying yourself.
Of the various workshops that I had seen presentations for and read about on the internet, Pickup 101 by far had the most positive message. It was all about exercises. I wasn't going to be listening to endless lectures, which was something I was very tired of at that point in my life. I wanted to do exercises. I wanted to learn. I wanted to apply the mechanics, and 101 was clearly the one that got it. They are extremely personal. They want you to succeed. They really listen, and they pay extremely close attention to you and point out all your strengths and all your flaws and give you specific stuff to focus on so that you can make as much progress in as short a period of time as possible. My life is now about an endless series of opportunities and new and fun challenges to tackle. And even when I'm having a bad time, all I got to do is remind myself that. Remember, it's about opportunity and new challenges. And that's what Pickup 1 101 has done for me more than anything else.